Stop Killing Games campaign claims EU initiative targeted by anonymous transparency complaint amid surging support. Hey, Cat. I'm trying to read. I think he's just, as soon as I start talking, he just has to walk in front of the monitor. It's like his feline instinct. In a dramatic twist, for the burgeoning movement to preserve online video games, the European Citizens Initiative, known as Stop Destroying Video Games, a separate campaign associated with Stop Killing Games, okay, Cat, has been hit with an anonymous transparency complaint in the EU. Okay. This development comes just as the petition surpasses 1.4 million signatures, edging closer to potential legislative action in the European, oh my god, I can't talk right now, European Union. The complaint, relayed by the European Commission, accuses the initiative's organizers of violating EU transparency rules by allegedly concealing funding sources and providing a false no funding declaration. Okay, what funding are they talking about though? Background on the Stop Killing Games campaign. Okay, if you don't know, if you do know, you can skip ahead, but if you don't know, the Stop Killing Games movement, spearheaded by YouTuber Ross Scott, this beautiful man right here, this beautiful mold man, of the channel Accursed Farms, emerged in April 2024 in response to Ubisoft's shutdown of the online-only racing game The Crew. Scott and supporters argue that the publisher should not be allowed to render purchased games unplayable by shutting down servers without providing alternatives, such as offline modes or private server support. The campaign highlights a growing concern in the gaming community. Many modern titles, especially those requiring constant internet connections, are sold as permanent purchases but treated as revocable licenses. Well, yeah, that's what they want. They want to be able to sell you licenses. These companies, they want to sell you licenses. They don't want to sell you video games. They want to sell you temporary licenses to video games. And another reason why they want to do this is because it makes it easier for them in the future. It's tougher if they're competing against old good games as well as new games. They just want old games to go away so you can only, play new games. So it diminishes the competition. So it makes it easier for them to sell their new products. I mean, it's really that simple. It always comes down to money with these companies. Of course it does, because companies want to make money. So they're going to be as selfish and self-interested as possible. While the broader Stop Killing Games effort includes global petitions and awareness drives, the EU-specific initiative Stop Destroying Video Games is a separate entity with its own organizers. Here, I'll give you a little bit of cat cam here. I'll just put it down a little bit for you. There you go. Launched a push for new EU laws mandating end-of-life plans for online games. It requires at least 1 million valid signatures from EU citizens to prompt the European Commission to consider legislative proposal. As of July 22, 2025, the initiative has amassed over 1.4 million signatures, exceeding the threshold and building a buffer for potential invalid entries. The collection period runs until July 31st, 2025, after which signatures will be verified. Ooh, we're coming up on it. Exciting times. All right, so that's a quick overview, or there's a little more. The campaign has garnered widespread support, including endorsements from notable figures like Minecraft creator Marcus Persson. Oh, that's Notch. What the hell? Notch, okay. Notch is based. I like Notch. And European Parliament member Nikolai Stefanata. However, it has faced opposition from industry groups. Oh, big surprise. The companies that actually have an interest in destroying video games so they can only provide you with new video games so you can't play old video games doesn't want this movement to go through. Crazy. I wonder why. So crazy. Such as Video Games Europe, which argues that such regulations could impose excessive costs and legal risks to developers. Oh, fuck off. Excessive costs. Oh no, they might have to release a peer-to-peer server hosting tool that every fucking multiplayer game since the beginning of time on PC has had. Since Terraria release. Like, this is not excessive cost, my ass. No, they just, again, it's a financial incentive for them to not preserve games. Because if those old games are gone, then they're not competing against the new titles anymore. Because if you can't play the old games, then you have to buy their new shit. It's really that simple. I'm sure there's more reasons than that, more complexities, but I think at the crux of the issue, or at the crux of these companies fighting against Stop Killing Games, I think that's the big reason why. Details of the transparency complaint. Okay, this is what I wanted to get to. This is the juice of the article. This is the meat right here. So what are they saying the funds are and that they concealed them? Like what is this? What is this? What's going on here? The controversy erupted on July 21st, 2025 when Ross announced in a YouTube video titled, "The industry filed a false claim against the Stop Killing Games initiative." Okay, well here's the video.
Hey, you know that saying?
Hey Ross. I'm not going to react to it because it's a 20-minute video, and this video is already probably going to be over 10 minutes, but go to Accursed Farms, subscribe. I'm not subscribed, actually. I already like this video, though. Subscribe, like, he's a great guy, makes good videos. If you don't know much about Stop Killing Games, this is the only channel you really need, is Accursed Farms, so. Quick little side note there. Where was I? So, what did they say? The industry filed a false... Wait, what? Oh, this is his video title. I was like, because he titled it, that's a false claim, of course. Stop Killing Games initiative, that the EU campaign had received a formal transparency complaint. The anonymous filing, passed on by the European Commission, alleges two main violations. All right, here it is. A false declaration of no funding on the initiative's EU listing and systematic concealment of major contributions. Okay, well, this still doesn't tell me that what are the system, what is the major contributions? What is the funding that was systematically concealed, apparently? At the heart of this complaint is Scott's personal involvement. What, they're going to say his YouTube channel? That he's using his YouTube channel for systematic concealment of funding? Is that what they're going to say? The document claims that Scott's extensive volunteer hours, often described by him as full-time dedication, exceed any reasonable volunteer threshold. What? Wait. What? They're saying he's volunteering too much? Therefore, it must be counted as funding? Is that what they're saying? And constitute an in-kind contribution valued at 63,000 to 147,000 pounds. Based on assumed professional hourly rates. Okay. Okay. I mean, first of all, this is YouTube. People don't make that much money from YouTube videos. I mean, if you get millions of views, sure. But this is insane. So they're saying that, well, actually, if you look at all the hours of him spent on making these videos and you put it in the assumed professional hourly rate, he has really concealed 100,000 pounds of profit. It's like, that sounds fucking insane to me, but let's keep reading on. This, the complaint argues, should have been disclosed as funding, especially given Scott's public role as the campaign's figurehead and frequent media portrayals of him as its leader. I mean, does it really constitute as funding unless, like, all this money's being funneled into the movement? I don't really understand this. It's not like a public fund. It's not even a private fund. It's just a dude's YouTube channel that he talks about something he's really passionate about. Is he even monetized? I don't even know if he's monetized. If he is, I guess that would muddy the waters a little bit, but it still doesn't mean that it's concealed funding for Stop Killing Games. It's just, oh, he might make a few pennies off of advertisements for his YouTube videos that he makes. This is bizarre. This is fucking insane. Whoever filed this claim, whatever game dev company filed this claim is getting extremely desperate. Under the EU rules for citizens initiatives, organizers must declare any funding sources exceeding £500 per sponsor. The initiative page on the official EU site lists no such funding, which the complaint deems misleading. Oh my god. However, EU protocols for handling complaints emphasize investigation and correction rather than immediate penalties. The Commission will request a reasoned response from the organizers and may seek additional information before deciding on any actions. Ross Scott's response and defense. In his response video, Scott vehemently denied the allegations, describing them as false claims and expressing frustration as becoming a political target. He clarified that his work is entirely voluntary with no financial compensation or in-kind payments involved. I mean, again, if a dude's just making a YouTube video right? And he's just talking about something that he's passionate about. How the hell are you gonna look at that and say, "Oh, that's concealed funding. You're too passionate about this. You made too many videos on it. Therefore, we're gonna calculate how many hours you put into this and the professional rate. We're gonna say that you have put 100,000 pounds of work into this. Therefore, you're concealing funding." That's essentially what they're saying, which is fucking insane to me. Scott emphasized that he holds no actual authority over the EU initiative. True, he's just a dude on YouTube who cares about it, who got the most traction, and that's why they're attacking him, because he became the most popular figurehead for this movement on YouTube. That's why they're attacking him. That's literally it. Which has distinct organizers, and that he has not been listed among them. He further noted that the organizers consulted EU representatives in spring 2024 and were assured his assistance complied with regulations. Okay. Scott speculated that the complaint might originate from games industry representatives. Of course it does. Of course this is coming from, higher ups at the games industry who were like, "Hey guys, we need to shut this shit down." And, they go, "What can we go after this guy for, huh?" And then some lawyer's like, "Oh, well, we could maybe spin this and this. We could say he's concealing funding. Oh, yeah, that's great. Run with that." I mean, that's what's happening here. They're just trying to bury him in any way they can. And this is a really, really, really desperate stretch, in my opinion. Scott speculated that the complaint might originate from games representatives, pointing to its timing shortly after statements from the industry lobby groups opposing the initiative. That's actually a good point. So I remember, I was reading on 4chan, I think it was 5 or 6 days back. You were seeing these big statements from these, games industry reps, who have a lot of stake in the game, basically saying, "Oh, this is gonna kill the industry. Oh my God, stop killing games. You just don't know what that means for developers. Oh my God, they'd have to release peer-to-peer server hosting tools, a little executable that you click on. Oh my God, they'd have to create that. That's just too much work. We just can't do that." It's like it's so ridiculous. But sorry, I'm just venting. He cited no concrete evidence, but suggested it could be an attempt to kill the initiative before it reaches formal review. Despite the setback, Scott remains optimistic, highlighting growing support from European Parliament members and the petition's momentum. Current status and broader implication. As of now, the initiative remains active, with signatures continuing to climb toward a final tally before the July 31st deadline. If at least 1 million are validated, the European Commission must respond within 6 months, potentially leading to new regulations on game preservation. This could set a precedent for consumer rights in digital media, forcing publishers to ensure games must remain playable post-support. So last I remember, this petition was at 1.6 million. Maybe it's higher now. But, there's more. Video Games Europe, in prior statement, has dismissed the initiative as unfeasible, but has not publicly commented on the complaint. Again, oh my God, unfeasible. Yeah, guys, it's too hard. You know how Terraria, you could just host a server by launching an executable, and it hosts it peer-to-peer. It's just a little basic server program. That's just too hard, guys. We can't do that. It's not feasible. Are you fucking kidding? Cat? What have you done? No! Okay, where was I? My cat, he hit the numpad and he ruined everything. Okay, where was I? Looking ahead, this anonymous challenge adds uncertainty to an already contentious campaign. But it also, it's really not contentious. The only reason it's contentious is because you have fucking retards like, what's his name? Managem dude. Pirate Software. That's his name. I completely blanked. All right, Cat's finally off the desk, giving me a brief moment of respite. The only reason it's contentious is because you have big heads who are astroturfed, like Pirate Software, who kind of insanely took the complete opposite stance, saying that, "Oh, stop killing games is actually horrible for gamers, and you should not want this, and I hate this." And he kind of went on a weird, unhinged rant when he first was reacting to the movement. My theory is that, well, he has a horrible dog shit game in development perpetually, and he's also tied to, well, formerly was tied to, and had financial involvement in these games that had live service elements from his studio. But aside from him, No, it's really not contentious. The people are in pretty universal agreement that this movement, Stop Killing Games, would be universally good for gamers. The only thing is some devs are like, oh, but then we'd have to do like an extra maybe couple, like 10 hours of work. You know? Oh man, that's crazy. It's so sad. It's so fucking sad, this industry. I hope this movement goes through. I hope Stop Killing Games goes through and they're forced to do something about this, because this would be like the first win that we would have in so long. And especially with Nintendo and the Switch 2 price hikes and other companies following suit, trying to hike video game prices up to $80 following in Nintendo's footsteps. Fuck these companies. So it's the principle of the matter at this point, that this movement needs to succeed. As Scott put it, the movement is about ensuring games don't die unnecessarily. With the EU initiative on the cusp of success, the outcome of this investigation could influence not just video games, but broader discussions on digital ownership and corporate responsibility. For now, supporters are urged to continue signing and spreading awareness as the battle for game preservation presses on. Well, this was an okay article. The main meat of it was right here, where they said, at the heart is Scott's personal involvement. They claimed that his extensive volunteer hours, often described by him as full-time dedication, exceeded any reasonable volunteer threshold. What the fuck does that even mean? Like, oh, just he's volunteering too much. You know, he cares too much about this thing and he's volunteering too much. Surely no one would do that. Surely they wouldn't do that without massive financial incentives, because the people pushing this, you know, they can't comprehend that someone's just passionate about something, right? And yes, it's a YouTube channel. Yes, I assume it's monetized and he gets pennies for his views. That's how YouTube works. But to say that that constitutes a contributional value of £147,000 and that also constitutes a systematic concealment is fucking insane. So yeah, I'm gonna stop it there. I hope you like the video. If you agree with me, like this video. If you disagree with me, dislike, I guess. Subscribe if you want to see more videos like this. I'm a new channel, so subscriptions do go a really long way. And thanks for watching. Peace.